Hi, everybody. It's me, LeoCurrently. Okay, so, yes, we know Winston's evicted now, so let's get into Live from the House from the winegate. After the winegate, Nancy wants to get the table set for dinner. Winegate happened because Nancy hid wine from the rest of the house, but she hid the wine so that there would be wine for dinner, but, the younger housemates, snuck under Nancy's bed and took the wine and had some of the wine. And Nancy thought it was a violation of her privacy, but hello, you're in the Big Brother house. You don't have privacy. Okay. Jonathan looks like he's had it. He feels bad that he doesn't know how to cook, and he's not finally washing up some sort of dish. Not so well because he didn't dry it. Jonathan does some imitation of Angie because Angie was really pissed off about Winston's statement. And then David kept name dropping again, but the only name he will not try to drop is his ex-wife, Liza Minnelli. I'm sorry for your Liza Minnelli fans right there. Yeah, he will not name drop Liza Minnelli, and I want him to name drop Liza Minnelli, and I want him to talk about Liza Minnelli's addictions and stuff like that, and how he had to cope with that. David Guest wants the house to be calm, especially at dinner, since there was winegate and because of fucking Winston's comments. And Jonathan really still wants David to talk about Liza Minnelli. And David is like, I'm not going to talk about Liza Minnelli. But we want you to talk about Liza Minnelli. That's why you're in the house. Angie is not giving any shits about Winston. And, really, the statement was Winston believes that 2 gay men adopting children is considered child abuse. Here's the deal, because this is what, that statement is what stems his eviction and everything. And here's the deal. I think that 2 gay parents, 2 lesbian parents who adopt are doing the God's work, the Lord's work. I think they're doing the Lord's work because they are trying to save children from being, like, molested, or they're trying to save these children from very, very terrible situations. So, I give these LGBTQ plus parents, like, the utmost respect. Okay. Scotty and Megan are sitting together on the kitchen counter as if they were 2 awkward teens. Yeah, there's gonna be some love line, but, Megan's saying that she's not gonna have sex on TV ever again. I don't know, she might. Because you know Scotty T. Scotty T has had sex with over 400 women. More than 400 women. It's probably in the thousands. Gemma was apparently asleep after the fight about after the whole task, which we'll cover in a little bit later. Okay, I don't understand why Jeremy wanted to save Winston, except that he thinks that Nancy is still too intimidating for him. Yeah, I'm going to cover that later, because that's also in last night's Live from the House. Okay, with the upcoming presidential election, David wants Hillary to win, and Angie wants Bernie Sanders to win. Okay. Angie has calmed down. The UK public thinks Angie won against Winston. That's what I'm getting at from these feeds that I'm getting from the UK public. Thank you, UK public! Here's the highlights. Gemma couldn't sleep. David's still balding. I'm sorry. David guessed you need, like, either a wig, a lace front, you know. Darren asked Angie about her addiction struggles, and pretty much Angie said that she got off heroin with Valium, and she started her addiction problems because because her career was literally managing David Bowie's career, and then David Bowie was like, we're divorced now, you can't work for me anymore, kind of shit. Gemma is talking about how creepy Winston was toward Nancy in the bedroom, and wants to rearrange her sleeping situation. Nancy in the diary room, she felt very uncomfortable, and then Winston is flirting towards Tiffany and said if she were in shape, she would get more work. like, have more jobs or something like that. Christopher and Danniella finally clear the air. We want to know what caused the fallout. Like, literally. We want to know. There's been press speculation. We just need to know. Danniella was fuming in anger about, like, the people around them, like, causing this drama between them. Danniella is a loyal person, I can tell that. And she will not forget. She will forgive, but she will not forget. Big Brother gave Winston, like, a formal warning, I think, for his, like, lewd conduct. But he doesn't believe whatever he did was making women feel uncomfortable and or making it a sexist environment. See, Winston's one of those people that are stuck in, like, the fucking 40s and 50s where men were, like, in control of everything and women had no control, and it's not like that now. Times have definitely changed. Times have changed from, like, 60, 70, 50 years ago. Winston's literally in disbelief. And the younger women are trying to comfort him, but seriously, the younger women are trying to comfort him. I'm like, you know he's a senile old man. He's like in his fucking 60s, and he is being senile, and he's saying sexist shit and stuff like that. And the younger women should not be standing for that shit. Christina announces her pregnancy. And here's the deal with Christina's pregnancy. I want a gestation assistant. I want a Lamaze coach. I want an ultrasound technician. I want an OBGYN in the house, like, at all times. At all times for the safety of the fucking baby. Because even though Christina can't participate in the physical tasks, we just need to know for the health and safety of the fucking baby if she's gonna be okay and shit. Like, we need these doctors and we need these specialists, and especially a Lamaze coach. And then David also kept name-dropping the next day with his housemates, such as Betty Davis. Nancy and Winston have a word about feeling uncomfortable when she was undressing for like, when she was sleeping, because Winston was at that, like, in that awkward angle. The younger housemates drank all of the wine that Nancy hid for dinner, that she put under her bed. Nancy was kind of ticked off because the wine was meant for dinner, plus it was under her bed, which she thinks is a personal space invasion. But really, you don't have personal space when you're in the Big Brother house. And the younger housemates actually originally thought that Nancy hid all the wine for herself. So Stephanie and Megan apologized, and Nancy said she was over it. But people are saying that she was over it because what she meant by over it, she was over, like, fighting over the fucking wine. Not like, oh, I'm over you bitches kind of shit. But that's what these younger housemates think. That's what Nancy said, especially Jeremy. And that was one of the reasons why he chose to vote Nancy for eviction. But we'll get to that a little bit later. We'll get to that later. Okay, now here's the task. It's the get to know each other kind of tasks. Team captains read out a series of facts, and their team has to decide which fact is closely related to the housemate. The silver cards was with Jonathan as captain. My favorite facts from that half of the group was that Angie had threesome before her wedding with her ex-husband and some other random person and got late for their wedding because of that threesome. And also that David received fellatio at school. They only got 6 correct, though. The gold cards, the captain was John. And pretty much Winston describing adoption by the gay lesbian couple as a child abuse. And then he blames the press for the homophobia. Yeah, he, like, deflects, like politicians usually do. And, yeah. He's like, yeah. It's like, I'm not a people hater. I'm like, yeah, but it sounds like you're... He calls it a people hater. I'm like, he doesn't even say the word homophobe. He's afraid to say the word homophobe. Because that's what because even on his VT, he said something homophobic. And I felt really bad. I felt for John. I was like, John, hug me, bae, hug me, bae. Hug me, bae. You can be the eye candy all you want. Just hug me. hug me. Everything will be all better if you hug me. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be like I wanted to be in that house for John and like be for him, be there for him, and yeah. And John's team got all the facts correct. And John's team got the chance to return all the housemates' to return 3 suitcases to housemates. The majority of his team chose Danniella, Christopher, and Darren. John didn't have any issues with Winston as a person, but the opinions are a whole totally, like, he has problems with Winston's opinions. That's pretty much what John said. And John was willing to be like, hey, John was saying, like, I'm okay if Winston gets his luggage back, kind of thing. And then Gemma was trying to grill Winston. And she was very disappointed in Winston's opinions. And Gemma wanted answers like, are you a homophobe? Are you a homophobe? He didn't even say, I'm not people. Yeah, he didn't even answer that question. He just deflected the questions like most politicians do. John wanted to give Winston his luggage back, like I said. Angie vents. Like, she vents. Angie fought for LGBTQ plus rights. She is in total disbelief and in anger that one of her fellow housemates has these kind of fucking opinions. And Angie wants Winston to suck her dick, and then suck it again, and then suck it again. It doesn't matter if his knees bleed. It doesn't matter if there's bruises. He will suck her dick. Now for the live eviction. Christina was safe from eviction. Winston and Nancy were definitely... I say that Winston and Nancy definitely had, like a tie thing, like, at 0%, both of them. And then Big Brother made a twist. Hostmates face-to-face vote eviction for Nancy or Winston. There was a 13-1 for Winston's eviction. Jeremy voted for Nancy to be evicted because he felt that Nancy was still too intimidating. And the winegate debate. John voted for Winston's eviction because he lost respect for Winston. Just because of those comments and everything. Let's get to the interview. I'm sorry, I'm going to try to be very camp today because of this. I even try to make it very camp with an LGBTQ pride flag on the thumbnail for this video. So, thank you. Okay, this was with Emma. Winston answered the questions like a terrible politician, of course. Somebody screamed, boring. They're like, boring! I know. I think Emma did really well. Like, because she was, like, disgusted. Winston... And then he was, like, reading material. He said that the reading materials and shit that they give you in the house. I'm like... Bitch, the only reading material they give you is the fucking people. And you can't even read the fucking people because you say you're for the fucking people, but the people say that they want equal rights. They want equal rights for everybody. And you're not giving that to them. And then he was like, I'm a Christian. Okay, you know what? A Christian like Kristen Chenoweth supports the LGBT community. We need a clear answer about the comment, and he's still blaming the press about it. Emma gave a good reality check toward Winston, but he would never listen. He's blaming the woman for his lewd conduct. Of course. And then he talked over part of his bits video. Oh, second eviction is on Friday. Second eviction, Friday. Remember that. Bots. Let's get into bots. Winston is a terrible politician. Hi to the drag queen that was in the audience. I saw you, girl. Ugh. I need to know your name, and I need to know your Instagram, and I need to know what bar you work at. Emma's most frustrating interview ever. And she was very frustrated because he was deflecting all the answers. Now then, Rylan with Winston. And Rylan could have gone really campy and just, like, sat next to Winston very, very close and tried to hug him and try to sit on his lap and everything. Like, I really wanted that just to make me laugh. And then, Winston had the dumbest thing saying England doesn't have a national anthem. And I'm just like, England's a province or a state within the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom itself has a national anthem. And then Rylan, like, pipes up and is like, wouldn't the Spice Girls be a good English national anthem? Which I would agree. I'm giving you everything. You know, something like that. Rylan restated all the questions that Emma asked, but Winston didn't answer the questions on his views properly. I believe Rylan probably handled himself a little bit better than Emma, but that's just because Winston had there was a lot more time between Emma's interview and Rylan's interview. He's not even saying homophobe, like Winston is not saying like, oh, I'm being homophobic and shit. He's like, I'm not a people hater. I wanted to see it more campy, and I know there was dancing in the end of it, at the end of Bots. It made it really campy with the disco superstar from the UK. And, like, the exclusives that we've seen, and it's going to be on tonight, and it was on during the live feed. Jeremy is going to keep justifying his decision because he really wants to get along with the rest of the house and stuff like that. One of the Bots panel members like, why are all these glasses these champagne glasses plastic? And Ryan's like, we're not getting into that. That was last series. And I was just like, oh, thank you, Bots, for not having another backdoor teen mom incident. Thank you, Bots. Thank you. I love you for that. And right now, we're seeing a separation of the older housemates and the younger housemates. And I don't think there's any weekend Bots on the series, which is sad because I like the weekend Bots. Okay, aftermath in the live from the house, Stephanie and Megan are talking about the bedroom drama in the toilet, like in the toilet off the bedroom, like sleeping arrangements, because now they have to redo sleeping arrangements again. Every single night so far they've had to redo sleeping arrangements, but I think since Winston's out of the house, they don't have to deal with that much anymore. It's gonna be pretty soon when it's like the final 8 and everybody has their own separate beds. Christina and Nancy don't get their luggage back until like 2 hours after Winston's eviction. David Guest wanted to meet Sister Patterson, who is Tiffany's mom, and eat soul food together with Tiffany and her mom. Angie, Nancy, and Christina want the house vacuum right now, not once a week, right now because Nancy's getting sick with her allergies and shit. Like, they just want all the cleaning materials, like, right then and there because they just want to clean the house. And Nancy still wants to save some wine for like later dinners and shit. And Jeremy is still trying to justifying himself for voting Nancy to be evicted. Okay, so I'll see you either tomorrow morning or later tonight in Eastern Standard Time, which is GMT plus. It's GMT minus 5. Sorry, it's Greenwich Mean Time minus 5 hours. So I'll see ya.